Hi guys, welcome back. Paul UK Reefer. In today's video I'm going to run you through the Reef Mature system. It's currently day 2 of the tank, day 1 of starting the dosing process, and let's take a look through it. So here's the packet. Reef Mature covers 250 litres worth of water, which in a Reefer 250 is quite handy because taking care of a bit of displacement for rocks, it's not far off 250, so it works nicely. Inside the box you get 4 bottles. We'll go through each one of these individually in a minute. Pipette and instruction manual, which I'm going to read from now. Basically, it first tells you to get all your water straight, so make sure that you've got your temperature correct at about 26, your salinity at 35 parts per thousand, or that's 1.025 or 26 to me, that's how I work it. Make sure you've got your rocks in, whether they're live or cured or dead, or aqua roach as we're using. Sand, filtration, make sure you've got your protein skimmer in but not on. Don't use any other denitrification or phosphate removing materials initially either. And then set the lighting period for 10 hours a day. That will help bring on the organic matter in the tank. Run the system for 24 hours. So we've done that, checked this all this morning and everything's fine. So then we started our dosing. So it just tells you again to dial in, check and adjust the temperature and salinity, and then test and record the pH and alkalinity. We did that, and because I'm using Red Sea Coral Pro Salt, the alkalinity was at 9.9 on a Hannah checker, which is good, nice and high, and the pH was about 8.4, which is normal. It then says if your DKH of alkalinity is less than 8.4, to start using the Coralline Grow buffer, this one, which basically is just a pH buffer from what I can tell, and that promotes the growth of coralline algae. As we were at 9.9, you don't dose it at this point. So it then says the next stage is to add 20 millilitres of nitro back per 100 litres of water. Nitro back. So obviously in the tank of around about 250 litres, we've gone with 50 millilitres of nitro back, so pretty much half the bottle. It then asks you to add some Bacto Start, which is dosed at 10 per 100, so we put 25 millilitres of that in. And then finally to add 3 millimetres of litres of Nopox per 100 litres. So we did 7.5 of that. So quite straightforward. All of the readings were correct. The Red Sea Coral Pro Salt's nice and high in all of the main parameters anyway, and I've recorded all of my readings, and basically we're going to follow a 21-day process now to seed the tank full of bacteria, grow it on, and then move into the world where we can start putting some clean-up crew and a couple of fish. Basically after this one, which they class as day 2, tomorrow we're going to check the temperature and salinity again. We're going to check the pH and alkalinity. We're going to start testing then for ammonium nitrate and nitrite. And it says already that we'll hopefully see some ammonia, a very small amount of nitrite, and even some nitrate. So it then asks you to add another 10 millilitres of nitro back to boost it, and some more Nopox. So basically tomorrow we're hoping we're going to see the start of the cycle. So just a very quick scan over now onto the tank itself. Just remove it from the tripod. Pretty much got everything sorted on the build. The lights are just coming on now in the morning, so it's heavy blues. It's not coming across very well on the camera, but I've put it to the Coral Pro AB+, and then put it at about 50 to 60% intensity. So starters are mean to go on. The lights are literally just dawning. So we finished off the sump, so it's all looking nice and clean and tidy. I'm sure that won't last, but the auto top-up's in, the skimmer's in. I've now installed the dosing pump and turned that on. I'm not going to start dosing anything for a bit yet, but it does have a temperature probe in this Kamoa X4, so I can go online. I've hooked all that. It's a wireless doser, so I now have push notifications if the temperature drops. I also have an audible alarm on my controller there for the temperature, which is currently running at 26 through the Aquamedic titanium heater there. I also then have just put another one in as a secondary precaution at 25.2 degrees. So if the main one falls, I'll get 2 different alarms, both audible in the house and on my phone. And this heater will then kick in at 25 to keep the tank solid. So hopefully that should stop any temperature swings. Currently got a 0.3 degree in 24-hour temperature swing up and down, which is really, really good. So I'm hoping that stays. Dosing pots down there, Hannah checker, another one to come. Obviously only just starting with the Red Sea ammonia nitrite marine care test and a refractometer, so that's all I need for the minute. Everything's working fine. The only thing that happened yesterday when I turned the tank on and started using the return pump back up, this valve needs adjusting. Now everywhere I've read it takes ages to get it right, and that's fine. And basically this valve here changes the volume of water. Let me just move this. The volume of water in the top there. So what you're trying to get to is that's probably a little bit lower, it's slightly higher than that, so the water's close to the top of the emergency drain pump, which is this one. What basically happened when I turned it on yesterday was that water shot down here like it was going out of fashion, heavily, loads of gurgling noise. I adjusted this left, right, centre, everything I could do, and nothing worked. I went on Facebook, started asking some of the other Sea Reefer people, and they also were telling me to send it left and right and wait time, but nothing seemed to work. So in the end, I basically pulled the 4 Allen keys off this, pulled it out, twisted it all the way to the right, which is the close function, which pushes a barrier in here and slows the flow down and raises the water up there. And then pulled it all the way back again and then reinstalled it. It worked instantly, and it then only took me a very small amount of time to get where I needed to get to. So yeah, it was a bit noisy. I panicked for about 5 minutes and then realised this is the tank that I thought it was, and it's now absolutely silent. So the only thing that will add some noise is probably the skimmer, which is not due to go on yet for a good 4 or 5 days till we start getting something to skim. So the only thing I'm slightly nervous about is the amount of room left now for a phosphate reactor, which will go in, but I think I am going to struggle to also fit the carbon reactor, but I will cross that when I come to it and maybe be able to fit them in. Last case scenario is to hang the rower phos outside of the tank here at the front, but I would prefer not to, just because I don't trust anything outside the sump. So yeah, going really well. The sump light is working great as well. Really would say whatever you do, just get one of them kits. They take about a few minutes to plug in, and you can chuck them on the roof of your sump. Nice little strip, and then everything is done with a remote control, which you can then change colours if you really wanted to. But that's, the reality is that is just great, being able to see when you come in and then just turn it off when you're done. Although my son has got hold of it, so that's slightly nervous wracking. One other thing I've noticed here is the side view of the tank is lovely. So this is when you're sitting down at the table. Obviously the blues being in there is making it harder to see, but what you can do is look all the way through the rock work because of the aqua roach system, and you'll be able to see anything in and around the rocks, and also get to it with a turkey baster. So yeah, the side angle of it is really, really good as well. So yeah, any help, guys? If you see anything that I'm doing wrong or anything that you've got to ask, please help, please ask questions, please offer suggestions. I won't take any offence. Stay tuned. I'll do a next video a few days into the cycle and start showing you some of the readings. But as things stands, day 2, bacteria is starting to go in, and we're moving ever closer to getting some life in the tank.